The Eagles are NFC champions, and we're going to the Super Bowl. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Philly Sports Now, a Philly fan podcast. My name is Zach. With me is Andrew, and we're here to talk all things Philly sports. Now that the NFC Championship is over, the Philadelphia Eagles have been crowned your NFC title champions for the fourth time in our generation, for the second time in 2 years, for the eighth. No, that's wrong.
Three.
We only missed one. Oh, the math ain't math, and it's three. It's three. I'm sorry. I'm a little excited. Might take a shot of limoncello. It's all good. The Eagles are in the Super Bowl again. We are in such a spoiled time, my friend. The Eagles are so flippin' good. They're so good. The Eagles are so back. The Eagles are so good. It's what a time to be an Eagles fan, man. I mean, I have some hypotheticals that I can't wait to talk to you about, maybe today, maybe the next episode. I don't know. But thank you, everyone, for listening to Philly Sports Now. We are here. This is our post-game NFC Championship post-game Super Bowl 59 hype. We will have our normal episodes are now actually going to move up a day. We're moving them from Fridays to Thursdays. So you can find our next regular season episode coming Thursday, which will be the I'm just going to pull the calendar out. Next episode is Thursday, January 30th. We'll do one episode next week before the Super Bowl, which will be our full pregame preview. But anyway, I've talked too much, rambled enough. The Eagles won. Huge game, right? Andrew mentioned it in our game predictions. He said he could see this going like the ways of the Minnesota championship game. And I mean, it was a blowout. So you were right about that, boss. I mean, how confident were you going into this game versus right now? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, no, I was really confident coming into this game. I really think that this team was clicking. I think the whole Hurts is playing bad stuff was overblown. I mentioned that too. I thought he played for the most part a pretty good game last time out, and I really just thought the way this defense was playing, obviously this was a little more high scoring than I expected. But yeah, you still get the 32-point win. And I mean, this team's just clicking right now. And it really is. And, we talked about it the year they won the Super Bowl, next man up. Talk about next man up. And this team is just gelling together. They're a true team. It's really cool to see. But, you don't have Cam Jurgens going into the game. Landon Dickerson moves the center. And then he gets hurt, and he's banged up throughout the game. And then all of a sudden, Jurgens is playing to start the second half. Dickerson's on the sideline with his injury, and that's just unbelievable. Then how about at the end of the game when Will Shipley gets his touchdown and Barkley's on the field or jumping around with him and everything? Like, it's just so cool to see. It was a party in Philadelphia, and it really – and this team just continues to take off. And you get one more to go. Let's get it done. But, I mean, it's so exciting. It truly is.
I can't express, like, I tried to express it with the hype around how many we've seen and how we've seen a lot, but it doesn't get old is the best way to put, like, I mean, you saw last year, our expectations are always high. Like, it doesn't matter how good the Eagles are. We're always shooting for the Super Bowl. So to actually go to the Super Bowl after what a collapse last year into what an amazing year this year, it is nothing but great. It is not. I mean, it's so exciting, all because of this man, Saquon Barkley, right here. Like he is a stud. He is a man amongst boys. New York Giants, you screwed up. You screwed up big. He got us. Was it 3 touchdowns today?
Three touchdowns today.
How many yards did he get? He only got 118 yards though.
Only.
Shame on us, right? But like, oh my God, what a game. What an actual, like, and I gotta say, I look, hindsight is 2020 and we won the game, so I can say this with certainty right now, but it's really cool we got to play an NFC East team in the championship. Like, it's very cool we got to play them and win, but it's a cool thing that it was an NFC East matchup. I mean, the NFC has some rock solid teams. And for it to be Eagles, Washington, I mean, how you see the rivalry come out with these boys just duking it out. Uh, uh, who was the
Brandon Lattimore.
Lattimore and Brown, man, I loved it. I mean, Lattimore's a piece of shit. I hope he stubs his toe, and I wish him all the worst. But it was such a great time watching this game, and like seeing the rivalry come out. Like it truly feels like they were setting up like screw Dallas, screw the Giants. It's Washington for the next 6 years that we need to hate.
Well, yeah, assuming Daniels is still going to be a good quarterback, obviously, yeah, this is going to be the rivalry. Yeah, this is going to be the rivalry. This is setting up the future. You got a young Jalen Hurts and a young Daniels. I mean, they're going nowhere. I mean, obviously Barkley's locked in, so the Eagles aren't going to be going anywhere. So yeah, this is going to be the battle of the East for the next 2 or 3 years at least. And obviously, I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun test for everybody around. But no, you saw it though, the chippiness, like, and that's what brings it out too. I mean, obviously the stakes of the game elevates it even more, but I mean, all around. And how funny was it too? You know, I mean, we talk about funny plays, and everyone knows the tush push is coming, but the drive after the turnover when they got like 5 straight offside calls when they're jumping over the line. I mean, that was the funniest thing, and even that caused some pushing there at the end, because I mean that guy dove on Hurts twice, but that's
that was just funny too, and like you could tell he was the first time. It's like, all right, he was trying to time it and he was trying to make it perfect. When he did it the second time, I just started laughing. Like I was like, dude, once, sure, twice, are you kidding me? And even the refs like, yeah, we warned him, and then them doing they doing it again, but not with the leap. Like that was such a funny moment for the refs to be like, we can reward the Eagles like a score.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I don't know about you. I've watched a lot of football, and I think that's the first time I ever heard that. I will admit, I did not know that was a rule where they could just be like, all right, touchdown.
Yeah, I did not know that was a rule either.
I thought that was to see it just to see what happens, like how that works.
Yeah, that was hilarious, dude. I kind of wanted it as well. It was, oh my God, it was so funny. But yeah, I mean, look, Barkley going off right away. I mean, that first rushing touchdown for 60 yards, like that. I mean, right there, I was like, how can we lose? Like, don't get me wrong, I was nervous the whole game. I had a text from a friend that I think 10 minutes left in the game, and it was like, congrats. And I was like, no. I don't care if we're up 30 points. Like, way too early for that. There could be 2 pick sixes in a row. I don't know, something. I was like, way too early for that kind of talk. But that first 60-yard rushing touchdown by Barkley, though, it sure did set the, like, oh, we should absolutely win this game.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the fun part to it wasn't even like, great blocking, hits a hole, no one's near him, right? He spun around, broke a tackle, and still finds a way to somehow get there. And like that really just, like you said, it set the tone. It really did. And, it was funny. I think, yeah, he had, and then, the second one, I think he had 2 carries for 2 touchdowns at that point in the game.
Yeah.
When he got that second one. So, like, even that just, like, and, I mean, it set the tone for, and we talked about in the pregame with how Washington was the 30th ranked rushing defense coming into the game, and the Eagles proved it. I mean, that's what they did in this game. 229 rushing yards as a team, 7 rushing touchdowns as a team combined. I mean, that's unheard of in this day and age of football. But I mean,
I actually forgot we even had a passing touchdown. I have it pulled up right now, and I'm like, oh yeah, we did have that AJ Brown passing touchdown after the one confrontation.
Yeah, so I mean, it truly is unbelievable, and I mean, it starts with the offensive line. They set the tone, and they bully the other team.
Which I mean, huge applause to the offensive line too, because you have Dickerson stepping up to Jurgen's spot, and I forget who took Dickerson's spot.
Tyler Steen.
But it was you could tell, like, and people weren't where they were used to playing, and the fact that you're still able to play this well in that situation. I mean, someone said it to me this week, but if your team's not banged up this far, you're either not playing or you're not playing well. So, like 100% agreed. Like, this is, like, where we're at now. This is the offensive line is banged up. It's how it is. Like, but it is setting us up so well that you can switch people around due to injuries, and we're still winning this game. It's and by so many points, by so many points. Andrew, when were you comfortable?
Yeah, real quick, another guy to give a shout out just because you mentioned the injuries. How about Oren Burks, the linebacker, filling in for Nakobe Dean? You know, we're all worried on that one. Comes in, 9 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. I mean, shout out to him. I mean, he comes in and tries to make it like we haven't even missed a beat without Nakobe Dean. But yeah, so credit to him too. But I would say it's funny. I would say, you know, I come in and predict that the blowout, and you kind of controlled the game. But I was like you, like it's like you never feel comfortable till that clock hits 0, right? I honestly felt comfortable on that last or the one before the Shipley touchdown because that really kind of put it out of reach there. When you go up by would have been 25 at the time. The one after they get the 2-point conversion. Because the one before that, I almost texted our group chat. Super Bowl. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait for another one. So I waited till that last one. And so I'd say early fourth quarter, mid fourth quarter on that. And I mean, just because I don't know, that's just the way I am. You never feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're pacing on the game.
It's Barkley's third touchdown, I think, is the one you just said.
Yep.
That's what. Yeah, that was the one where I was like, oh, 25 points. It'll be pretty hard to screw that up.
Well, then I was like, at halftime, I was like thinking, okay, you have that big lead, you have the ball, you come out, score. I was gonna be like, okay, that's where I would have been like, okay, now I'm feeling really comfortable. But you came out and had a 3 and out. Hurts got sacked once.
You let them get the field goal. You go 3 and out. I was borderline sweating at that point. I'm like, no, this is the momentum has changed.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's when I was like, okay, I can feel comfortable early on in the second half. You come out with a nice drive, and instead of the 3 and out. So, but and again, there's a couple times I felt that too. Because then it was early on. It's like, okay, you're kind of pulling away. You get the Commanders that 4th down, and then they do the fake punt, and it's like, oh man, here we go. It's gonna be one of those weird trick plays, and it's gonna get back in the game and all that jazz. But the defense, credit to them in the beginning of that game, while they giving up long drives, they kept holding to 3. And when you're at this stage of the game, 3 doesn't cut it. I mean, and that's what makes this defense good is the short game. They know how to hold teams in the red zone. And the Eagles, on the other hand, 6 for 6 on touchdowns in the red zone today. And that just goes a long way when you're at this stage of the season.
I mean, I think it's crazy, like, how good our defense was, obviously, you know, but I still kind of look at this game and I was like, Washington's offense looked really good. Like, we just looked that much better. And a big thing I wanted to say, hilarious he didn't score. But, man, old man Ertz. Zach Ertz stepped up big time this week. He showed up, and you could tell he was playing to rub it in a little bit. And he showed up with the receiving eye on Washington for 104 yards. I mean, he balled. He balled out hard, and I want to applaud him. I can only wish him well moving forward. Of course, I would like to say he was my favorite player on the team at the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, and it's, you know, I stand by the decision to move on from Ertz, but seeing him today, man, I'm like, damn, kind of wish he was still riding with us, but really just good for him.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with what you just said. And he was my he's the jersey I got when we won the Super Bowl. Yep. He's the one I got with the Super Bowl patch on. Yep. So I'm right with you with how much I liked him. And you know what? I think he's on a 1-year deal. Bring him back. He's got to be retiring soon. Next year is the backup. You know, we got it. Bring that duo back.
I would love to see him retire as an Eagle. I don't know if I think it happens because of how bad his relationship with Howie seemed to be at the end of his career, but we'll see. Yeah. I mean, so many Eagles come back and retire for a 1-game contract. You know what I mean? Like that whole So I hope they're at least good enough that they can do that. But I also saw, I think it was Washington's GM go and hug Ertz, like as the game was wrapping up. I kind of feel like they're going to re-sign him. I mean, he was their best receiver.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was more joking around about it, but
yeah.
But no, I mean, I agree with you. But while you mentioned Howie, I mean, let's give him a shout out too with just the offseason he had. You bring in Vic Fangio, You bring in Zach Bond. You obviously bring in Barkley. I mean, just guys. I mean, Vic Fangio's up for finalist, assistant coach of the year. Barkley's up for finalist, offensive player of the year. Bond's up for defensive player of the year. Then you draft Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, both up for rookie of the year finalists. I mean, just an incredible offseason. And I know I never like to call an award a lock, but if he's not a lock for executive of the year, I don't know how anyone else can go out and take that award from him this year. But I mean, obviously all the players deserve a lot of credit, and Nick Sirianni does too. But you got to give credit to Allie too with what he did this offseason. I mean, this team isn't here without him.
I absolutely. I mean, my character arc of going from hating Howie to admitting he is truly a diamond in the rough. Like, there's zero doubt. I said there was. I think I've done nothing but praise him since Super Bowl 57. Right? Like, when you take the team and rearrange it enough, and then you still get back there within 5 years, that was amazing. And then what you did this offseason to make this team look brand new. It's just crazy. Yeah, this is amazing. This is, I mean, absolutely, it's his world. We're just living in it, basically, was what it feels like. Buffalo Bills go and score. This is AFC games going on right now, so we won't be able to talk about who we're matching up against. But as I said earlier, we will have kind of a pre-game, post-game going into the next couple episodes. But
give me the Chiefs. I want my revenge.
I do too, dude. I want the revenge. I mean, it just has such a better taste. Like, I want the revenge game, dude. I want the revenge game so badly. I also don't want the Bills, specifically because, and this is no slander to Bills fans at all, they're the second best in the league. But I know I don't like being not the underdog. And if the Bills play the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they're definitely the underdog. So,
yeah, no. I honestly think Eagles are favored regardless.
That would be crazy.
No matter which one. Just because, I mean, last week I'm pretty sure the Eagles had the best odds. I think they updated it. The Eagles had the best odds for the Super Bowl win. But
it's funny how Vegas has them at the best odds going in the championship weekend, and yet in the public's opinion, it was the least wanted team in the Super Bowl. Like, classic Philly hate right there, and is what it is. But
I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
Andrew loves the hate.
Shout out to Jalen Hurts. It was bothering me all week. Can the Eagles win with this quarterback? Like, what a bad day to be a Jalen Hurts hater. Bad day to be a national media. I mean, how about that? All week, I mean, just talking about, and he hit every perfect throw today. 4th and 5. Nick Sirianni calls the gutsy call. Perfect strike to A.J. Brown down the sideline, setting up a touchdown. The touchdown later on, perfect. Everything rolling out to Goddard was perfect today. And obviously, everyone's going to say, and that's all you're going to hear this week too. Probably is how about 7 rushing touchdowns to 1 pass? Like, and I mean, no one realizes what he does for this team. And I'll say it again. And I mean, obviously, we'll see how the Bills Chiefs finish up. But the difference in this game was turnovers. The Eagles
don't have about the turnovers.
The Eagles don't have a turnover in the postseason right now, and that is from your quarterback. Like, your quarterback's making those decisions. Like, it's just. He deserves so much credit. Hopefully he starts to get it, and we'll see what happens. But, I mean, it's unbelievable.
I also want to give Hurts credit. Like, so, you hate to see any sacks, but he took 3 sacks this week as opposed to the 7 sacks he took last week. In my opinion, whether you want to talk about the offensive line or you want to talk about Hurts making adjustments, like, clearly both sides being the offensive line and Hurts, made the proper adjustments that he got hit less times. And you could tell, man, you saw Hurts. I think something I don't believe that you mentioned in that praise for him is the amount of times he was throwing the ball away, just straight up. Yep. And, like, he was throwing it away at the perfect time. Like, he was holding on to it. He was trying to see if it was a redeemable moment, and then he would toss it away perfectly. And it was funny because I noticed one of the things we talked about was that when he has the ball for too long, that's when the pocket collapses, and that's when he gets sacked, right? And you could see it was right about that 3, maybe 4 second mark that he starts to scramble. And, most of the time he got rid of the ball. And I got to give it. Sometimes he ran. Let me pull that back up real quick. I want to see. I don't think it was very much. His rushing yards was 16. So that's what, like, he did take care of the ball. Like, he did what he needed to do. But he was he was a passer today for the most part. He was a passer, and of course, he was a game manager.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
say with a smile for the listeners.
Sarcasm. But yeah, no, because I mean, you figure he finishes like you said with 10, but you got to figure what he had 2 tush push touchdowns.
Yep.
And then he had a couple on first. I think 4 or 5 of those were from the brotherly shove. So they had the QB draw on the touchdown. I think it was a 10-yard run. So yeah, I think he really only scrambled about 4 or 5 times for actual rushes. So I mean, yeah, he truly was just back there throwing. And I mean, it's no. And I'm gonna throw one. I mean, shout out one more unit, the special teams. Pick up another fumble on the kickoff. I mean, it truly is. This whole team is just. I think right now, I mean, obviously you're going to the Super Bowl, but top to bottom, NFL wise, best roster. I mean, just everywhere, all over.
I don't think, Andrew, we've talked about this. I'm really curious on your thoughts. I kind of love it. DeJean taking the punts.
Yeah, I mean, he's fielding great since Brendan Covey's went down, and he's done great. And I mean, it's funny too because I think when he first took over, I think he said that is what he hates most about his role in the NFL, just because how quick he is and stuff. He hates. I forget the way he worded it, but yeah, he does not like he does it obviously being a team player, but I don't know if it's the pressure of it or just like tracking the ball down in the air and reading it. But
he's also not typically hit. He's usually the one doing the hitting.
Yeah, so exactly.
That's probably a big part of it. Yeah. He's not exactly a big guy. You know what I mean? Like he's not taking hits very often.
Exactly. But I mean, even that too, as you bring that up with the return game, Barkley's 60-yard touchdown was set up by Will Shipley returning the opening kickoff to the Eagles 40, setting it up for great field position and after the Commanders field goal. And I mean, and obviously,
how about Shipley getting that drive? I just closed my phone, but getting that 80-yard drive, it feels like, and stopping right in front of the goal line, which he didn't. He got tackled, but you could also tell he slowed down, and I think it was a little on purpose so that they could use.
Oh, you do?
I do. I
thought he ran out of gas.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I guess I'm giving him more credit, but I thought it was more of a let's run out the clock. I'm gonna slow down, and then I didn't know the guy was right there. Goes down, but and then Shipley goes and gets the touchdown anyways. Good for him, man. That was awesome. And you said it, but love seeing Barkley celebrate. Barkley is just such a team guy.
Barkley was out there so quick. It was like he was on the field for the play, just in a different position.
You would have thought he was a coach and not a player in that situation.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It was amazing. It was unreal. I mean, I'm so hot right now. I'm so hyped up for this game. I did as the absolute just pig that I am, immediately went on Fanatics and I got myself the championship shirt. No hat because their hats are garbage. Fuck you. Damn, I have to add that out. The no hats because the hats never fit me. They don't fit. The hats are worse. Their hats are so crap quality. Don't buy their hats. Get them from Lids. But anyway, Andrew, are you getting championship gear?
Most likely. I'll have to decide. I might. I don't know. I sometimes wait to see what happens in the Super Bowl. But when the Phillies got to the World Series, I did end up getting that one, so I probably will can't even get one.
They already have Barkley.
The playoffs sold out already, probably.
They already have Barkley jerseys with the Super Bowl patch. That's pretty incredible. That's pretty to be able to I mean, obviously it's just a pre-order and they just have that ready to go, but that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, I'm absolutely a sucker. I am the guy that they're like, get what they got on the field. And I'm like, yes, I will. Here's my money. And it's such a scam. But I do it every time. Because these are the moments, man. And I think that's what I want to wrap today up with. Again, this is the moment. Live in the moment. Enjoy this. We are going to the Super Bowl. It is the 4th time in our lifetime that we're going to the Super Bowl. It's only the 6th time in franchise history?
5th, right? Because it was only once before we were born,
right? Once before?
Yeah, it was just the 80-81 season.
We have to, again, I said it earlier, but we are absolutely a spoiled fan base at this point. Enjoy this, guys. Enjoy the Eagles. Enjoy going to the Super Bowl. But as I told my wife when Valerie looked at me at one point and goes, and we're just happy to be in the Super Bowl. And I looked her in the eye, I booped her in the nose, and I said, no, we need to win.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Philly Sports Now, a Philly fan podcast. You can find us on social media. Again, this is your post-game show going up on Monday, January 27th. We will have a new episode on Thursday, January 30th. Andrew, anything else to wrap up for today's game before we get going?
EAGLES
Eagles! Go Birds, baby. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's Philly Sports Now. Good night.
EAGLES!